Cross country, Philippines to Australia. Yeah, g'day, mate. So today's video is just going to explain the basics of crossing from the Philippines to Australia on a working visa. So my name's Kano. I do recruitment and visas for Australia. I've done this for about 20 years, and I specialize in the 482 class working visa and a pathway to permanent residency, PR. So the first thing to tell you, if you're looking at it, if you're looking for a job or looking for options to move into Australia, um, immigration has a list of occupations, right? They have a big list of occupations of which an Australian employer could offer a working visa to a foreigner if they have experience in one of these occupations, right? Not every job in Australia can be done by a foreign worker. And not every company in Australia has the ability to offer a visa to a foreign worker, right? The Australian company has to be accredited with immigration, is number one. And number two, the position that they're offering, the job that they're offering has to be on the visa list, right? The visa list. Now, below in the bottom of the description of this video will be a link to the Home Affairs website, which is immigration, and you could type in your job title there and see if there is a visa or visa options for that skill set. So let me just start with getting rid of all of the negative stuff to start with, right? So I see a lot of posts on social media for jobs in Australia and options for Australia that are just complete fucking bullshit, right? And not true. I've seen adverts for babysitters offering a working visa to Australia. Zero chance, no chance for that, right? There's shit on Facebook about dog walkers wanted in Australia. Not true. It's a scam. Fruit picking. You can't get a working visa for that, right? No chance. What else? Waitresses, right? Waitresses. You can't get sponsored working visas to Australia for these roles, right? These type of roles can only be done by an Australian citizen or somebody with permanent residency, maybe a student on their time off, or maybe the partner or family of somebody in Australia with full-time work rights, right? Yeah, so that sort of stuff, zero chance of getting a working visa for that. Also, that sort of stuff can also be done by people on a working holiday visa, which, if you're in the Philippines, you're not going to get that, right? You might see it advertised online. Yeah, Philippine working holiday visa. The reality is zero fucking chance of getting that visa. There's only 300 issued a year, and those are going to go to like ambassadors' families and government kids of government workers and stuff like that. If you're looking at going to Australia, the reality is you've got to be looking at the 482 working visa, right? Yeah, there are some other visas, that you could look at the 491 if you've got a very, very close relative in Australia, the 494 potentially. But the most popular visa for Filipinos coming to Australia is the 482 working visa, right? So, and then the requirements for that, apart from obviously proof of employment and training and all that kind of stuff, depending on the occupation, you might also need a skills assessment certificate. Something like TRA, or in the Philippines, you might have heard of VETASES. VETASES. These sort of things are very popular for like the trades and skilled worker roles. Then in healthcare, it's normally sort of like AFRA or ANMAC certificates and so forth. And then depending on your occupation and your schooling background, you might also need an English exam, right? These exams, you might have heard of IELTS before, right? IELTS is probably the most common one, but there are many different types of English exams. Now, these exams You go into a testing center, you sit down, and you do a test, reading, writing, listening, and speaking, and then you get a score for each of those four sections, and then depending on uh depending on your occupation will depend, and the visa will depend on what scores are needed, right? Um, Now, also some negative shit. I do see adverts online for, like fake English exam certificates and fake skills assessment certificates and all that kind of stuff. Just understand that every one of those certificates can be verified, and fake certificates will not work. They may have worked years ago, but we've had a change in immigration, and now they will check everything. So if you're heading down to Recto University to buy your IELTS certificate or your proof of employment, it's not going to work. Everything nowadays can be verified or will be verified. Um, yeah, so that sort of shit just doesn't work. And if you supply fake documents, you're going to get a visa rejection, right? This is visa fraud. It goes on record, and now immigration shares their history of applicants pretty much with every other country that we're friends with. So if you get caught providing fraudulent documents for Australia, then you're going to have a tough fucking time applying for a working visa in pretty much any other Commonwealth country or other countries that we're friends with. So back to work. I'll just give you an example of some of the jobs that we've got. But again, like I said, underneath this video at the bottom of the comment is a list to Home Affairs website. That's the immigration website. And on that, there's a searchable box. You can type in your job title, your occupation, and it will tell you if there is or isn't a visa available for that occupation. But for what I have in Australia, I have employers all around Australia. Some of them employ every month, some of them employ once a year. It just depends on the demand. But my biggest demand, so I'll go through my 9 positions that are the most popular that I've got in Australia. So number one is for registered nurses, right? We've got many different areas within hospitals and institutions, but we're looking for registered nurses with now, if you are a registered nurse, you'll need to have your AFRA certificate completed or at least in process, and your English exam certificate. Now, let's have a look. Number 2 is denters or panel beaters, lateros, the people that fix the car once the car's had a crash. I've got about 50 open positions, like job orders for denters in Australia. You need 5 years experience. You'll need a vet assess or a TRA skills assessment certificate. And then again, depending on your schooling background, you might also need like IELTS or a PTE English exam. Number 3, midwives. I've got hiring for midwives each month of the year. Midwives, you need your AFRA, um, AFRA and MAC, AFRA and MAC, one of those certificates, and an English exam score, at least 5 in each section. What else have we got? Number 4, bricklayers. Yep, bricklayers. There's no skills assessment for bricklayers, but bricklayers will need at least IELTS 5s, 5 years experience, and good, solid, verifiable proof of employment. Number 5, carpenters, right? We've got a few different types of carpenter roles. We've got formwork carpenters, we've got roofing carpenters, floor finishers, and then just general carpenters for new build housing construction. Need a skills assessment like a TRA or vet assess skills assessment, and your English exam scores. Number 6, radiologists. I've got 2 positions for radiologists each quarter of the year. Again, radiologists, I think you need your AFRA and IELTS. Next, welders, heaps of jobs for welders each month of the year. Welders, same thing, English exam scorecard and vet assess or TRA. Oh yeah, sonographers as well. Sonographers, we do at least one a month. Sonographers also, you need, I think, AFRA and MAC, AFRA, one of the, I think it's AFRA. I think it's also AFRA. I'm not 100% sure, but if you look on my profile, I've got an advert for sonographers with the specifics of which skills assessment is needed for that. And then what else we've got? Okay, so mining jobs. I've got heaps of positions on mine sites in Australia, everything from fitters, diesel mechanic, high voltage electricians, um, machinists, metal fabricators, um, and more. Heaps of roles. Same thing with the mining jobs. You need your skills assessment certificate. You need IELTS scores of five, 5 years experience, and verifiable proof of employment. Um, so yeah, that's just a bit of an example. Again, like I said, um, there's no chance of getting a job as a fruit picker in Australia. Um, yeah, if you're a Filipino, you can only do that if you're the wife or the partner or the kid of somebody that's in Australia with full-time work rights. Um, there's a list at the bottom of this video that tells you that you can type in your occupation and see if it is on the visa list. If it is on the visa list, feel free to send me a message. Tell me your name, your age, nationality. Just remind me you're Filipino, your years of experience, and your occupation, and I'll tell you the reality of if there's a chance that maybe we could assist you finding a sponsor for a visa, and or if there really is a chance of getting a visa for that. Right now, I don't handle every occupation. I don't handle every job. Right. The main things I do, mining, construction, manufacturing, automotive, and some healthcare roles. Um, yeah. Anyways, that's the basics. If you're a Filipino wanting to come to Australia, you got to be. Reality is look at the 482 working visa. Um, don't supply any fucking recto university documents, and make sure you've got good English skills. I'll also put a link under here that you can search up all the different types of English exams and the different scores needed, because different exams have different scores. But basically, if you're in the Philippines, it's either going to be IELTS, scores of five in each section, PTE, a score of hopefully 36 in each section, but we can accept lower for PTE, or OET English exam with a score of B in each section in one exam, one sitting, right? Um, so yeah, that's it. My name's Kano, Recruitment and Visas for Australia. I hope this helps you out. If you look at my profile, you see a lot of other visa tips and jobs that we have throughout the year. Yeah, if you like this, press a like. If you want to hear more about visa options and positions in Australia, press the follow button. Otherwise, if you've got a relative looking to work in Australia, feel free to share the video and I'll teach them about their options and requirements. Cheers, mate. Have a good day.